Okay, people. In this chapter, what are we going to study? Very simple thing. We'll assume this is a table. We'll assume. And I want to sell these tables. I want to sell these tables. If I want to sell these tables, lamai, I have only two options. I want to sell these tables. So if I want to sell these tables, first, I should have tables, no? I should have tables to sell. I should have tables to sell. So first, I should have tables to sell. So in order to for me to have these tables, there are only two options. In order to for me to have these tables, there are only two options. මම ඔය මේසෙ විකුණන්න ඕන නම් මං ගාව මේසෙ තියෙන්න ඕන ඉස්සෙල්ලා. මට මේසයක් විකුණන්න I should have the tables. First, for me to sell the tables, I should have tables. For me to have these tables, there are only two options. Can anyone tell me what are those two options? Any guesses? Any guesses? One option, I can buy and sell, no? I can go to the Umbro, buy the table and sell it. If not, I can produce and sell. මට හදලා විකුණන්න. I can bring wood from Moratuwa. I can buy paint. I can buy nails. Now cutting the table, chopping the table, assembling it, painting, polishing, and sending the table. So I can produce and sell also. Today, in this chapter, what are we going to learn, people? Not buy and sell. We are going to learn if you are producing and selling. හදලා විකුණනවා. If you are producing and selling, how to do the accounts. Simple as that. So I'm just taking an example. හොඳට අහගන්න. This is the simplest one. For me to produce 1,000 tables, I had a production cost. Production cost කියන්නේ ළමයි හදන්න කොච්චර ගියාද? Tables හදන්න. Total production cost 100,000. By incurring this 100,000 production cost lamai, I produced 10 tables. I produced 10 tables. 10, na? I am asking you a question. What is the production cost per table? What is the production cost per table? ළමයි කිය 100,000 ගියා නම් 10 tables වලට එක table එකකට කීයද? So very simple, no? Very simple, no? 100,000 is the cost for 10 tables. Then what is the cost per table? 10 tables. Then cost per table is how much? මෙහෙම එක බිඳුවක් කැපුවා නම් 10,000. Production cost per table. ඔච්චරයි කතාව. Then understand ළමයි, for me to make, හදන්න, produce one table, there is a cost of 10,000. හොඳට හිතලා කියන්න. හොඳට හිතලා කියන්න. When I am selling this table, people, I should sell it for a price more than 10,000 or less than 10,000. හොඳට හිතන්න. For me to make the table, to produce the table, I will have a production cost of 10,000. හදලා තියාගන්නද? නෑනේ, we are not keeping it, no. After producing, we will sell it. We will sell it. අපි ඔක විකුණනවා. We will sell it. When we are selling it, ළමයි, when we are selling it, we should sell for a value which is more than 10,000, or sales price should be more than 10,000 or less than 10,000 as a businessman. As a businessman, we should sell more than 10,000. Because people, we should have profits, no, by doing the business. Profits නැතුව කරන්න බැහැ. So I can't sell it for 10,000 also. If I sell it for 10,000, no profits. I can't sell it for 9,000. If I sell it for 9,000, loss. So I have to keep a profit and only I have to sell. Okay. Now I am telling you, in my company, we are keeping 20% profit on cost. How much profit are we keeping, lamai? 20% profit on cost. 20% profit. So now I am asking you to tell the selling price. Now I am asking you to tell the selling price. So hondra bala ganna lamai. Production cost per table. To make one table, cost is 10,000 lamai. For this one, we will keep a profit. Profit. How much profit? 20%. No. So 10,000 into 20%. Then here we are getting how much profit, lamai? 2,000 profit. So now I will sell it for selling price. Selling price per table. 12,000. So 10,000 table, if I sell for 12,000, I will make a profit of 2,000. Table එක හදන්න 10,000 ගියා. To make the table, the cost was 10,000. If I sell it for 12,000 lamai, I will make a profit of 2,000. So this is the whole chapter that we are going to study, lamai. This is the whole chapter. Then simply, first what are we going to do? We are going to find out the total production cost. Then we are going to find the production cost per unit. Then we will get the profit per unit. Then we will find out the selling price per unit. The selling the selling price per unit. ඔය හතර තමයි අද අපි ඉගෙන ගන්න යන්නේ. These are the 4 areas that we are going to learn in this chapter. How to find the total production cost, how to find the production cost per unit, how to find the profit per unit, and how to find the selling price per unit. That's it. These are the 4 areas. But out of these 4 areas, this fellow is there no. මෙයා ටිකක් challenging නා. This fellow is little challenging. This fellow is little challenging. Finding the total production cost. But people, if you listen carefully with the focus, you will understand it perfectly. හරිද? හොඳට අහගන්න. හොඳට අහගන්න. Now, in this stable production business lamai, I am going to write certain examples. හොඳට බලාගන්න. Wood. Sand, paper to polish. හරිද? Carpenter. And factory security. Factory security. And designer royalty. Designer royalty. And factory rent. So here I have given you 6 examples. I am asking you to basket these 6 examples into 3 baskets. මම ඔයාට දෙනවා එක basket එකක් විදියට material කියලා basket එකක් හදන්න. Another basket labor basket. And whatever the other which is not falling under material or labor. Now you have to help me. Yeah? Now in a table production business lamai, wood කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? Material ද labor ද other ද? කියන්නේ in a table production business. You can use the abbreviation. No need to type the complete thing. If it is material, you can say M. That's enough. So wood is material. Sandpaper that we are using to polish, that is also material. Sandpaper to polish. Carpenter වඩ්ඩ. වඩු මහත්තයා labor. Carpenter. Security. එයත් වැඩ කරන එක්කෙනෙක්නේ. labor. Security. Designer lamai, designer, he is not an inside staff. You took a design from a famous designer. He is designing tables. So for that designer, for each and every table that we are producing using his design, I have to make a small payment. I took the design from one of the famous designer for tables. So for each and every time when I am using his design for my table, I have to make him a payment. ඒකට තමයි අපි royalty payment කියන්නේ. For that one only we'll call it as royalty payment. For using his design, for each time that we are using, we have to make a payment to him. Royalty payment. So he is not an inside person. එයා labor කෙනෙක් නෙමෙයි. Labor කියන්නේ ඇතුළේ වැඩ කරන කට්ටියනේ. Then is that design is a material, people? Is that design is a material? That design is material? No. That design is not labor also. That design is other expense. Design. Designer royalty. Factory rent. Material the labor then. Factory rent. Factory rent also other. Factory rent also other. So people, fundamentally, we understood two things. Fundamentally, we understood two things. Whatever the items connected with the production, we can split it into three. Material, labor, other. Material, labor, other. Other කියන්නේ other නෙමෙයි, other හෙට එහෙම නෙමෙයි, others. Okay. Now I am going to teach you a very important thing. Now, if you take in this example, two materials are there. One material is there, directly connected to the production. Directly connected to the production. මොකක්ද ඒක? Wood the sandpaper. Directly connected to the production. Is it wood or sandpaper? Wood. Super. Now, without the sandpaper also, we can't finish the production because we have to polish it. But sandpaper is not a item directly connected. It is something indirectly connected. Indirect. Sandpaper නැහැ කියලා table එක හදන්න බැරි වෙන්නේ නැහැ නේ ළමයි. But if the wood is not there, you can't make the table. So wood is directly connected. Sandpaper indirectly connected with the production. Out of these two labors, හොඳට අහගන්න. One labor is directly connected to the production. One labor is directly connected to the production. කවුද? කවුද? Who is that? Carpenter or security? Obviously carpenter, no? Carpenter, no? Security, he should be there. Because factory, no? Factory එක security වැඩ කරන්න security ඉන්න ඕනේ. But he is not directly connected. Indirectly connected. Indirect. Indirect. Designer royalty. Without his permission, we can't produce. Without the designer's permission, we can't produce. So it is directly connected with the production. If the designer's permission is not there, we can't produce. But even the factory is not there, still we can produce. The factory we need. ඒක නැති වුණා කියලා හදන්න බෑ කියන්න බෑ. But if the designer's permission is not there, we can't produce. So this is also connected with the production, but not directly. Indirectly. Now, what is the learning that you got from this second explanation, people? Let it be materials, let it be labor, let it be other expenses. Materials, two types are there. What are the two types? Direct material, indirect material. Labor, two types are there. Direct labor, indirect labor. Direct other expenses, two types are there. Direct other expense, indirect other expense. So initially we started with 3 baskets. Now inside each basket, 2 categories are there. Inside each basket, 2 categories are there. So I'll write it like this. Initially we started with the materials. Okay. Initially we started with the materials. Inside the material basket, 2 types are there. What are the 2 types? Direct material, indirect material. Then people labor. Inside the labor basket, 2 labors are there. What are the 2 labors? Direct labor, indirect labor. Inside the other expense, 2 types are there. What are the 2 types? Direct other expense, indirect other expense. Then හොඳට බලාගන්න ලබ. හොඳට බලන්න. Look at this carefully, yeah. If you take these 3 together, these 3, yeah. Direct material, direct labor, direct other. හැමෝම කියන්න. Now I highlighted an area from the orange. The area that I highlighted from the orange lamai, what is the common factor that you can find? What is the common factor that you can find? The area that I highlighted from the common factor is what, people? It is direct. So this is what we'll call it as total direct cost. Now let me take a different color. Maybe purple like this. No, purple apart. We'll take green. Now I am highlighting an area from the green lab. Now I am highlighting an area from the green. Here I have selected an area from the green. Now you tell me, this green selected one, what is the common factor? What is the common factor? What is the common factor? This is total indirect cost. So both are connected to the production. Both are connected to the production. For the total direct cost, in accounting, we are giving a name. For the total direct cost, in accounting, we are giving a name. We will call it as prime cost. අමතක කරන්න එපා මේවා. මතක තියාගන්න. For the total indirect cost connected with the production. For the total indirect cost connected with the production, we are giving a name. We will call it as production overheads. Production overheads. Now take your book. Writing book. Take your writing book. Take your writing book. Write the heading. Write the heading. Chapter 7. Statement of production cost. Chapter 7. Statement of production cost. Statement of production cost. Make and the gun. Draw this. Draw this, people. Everyone. I'll give you 3 minutes. I'll give you 3 minutes. Quickly drawing. I'll give you 3 minutes. Quickly drawing. Once you all are done, post a letter D in the chat box. Post a letter D in the chat box. Okay. Now write down this, Lamai. Now write down this. Direct material, direct labor, direct other. Addition of these three is prime cost. Another name for prime cost, total direct cost. Indirect material, indirect labor, indirect other expense, production overhead, total indirect production cost. Can anyone tell me addition of these two, prime cost and production overhead? Addition of these two, මොකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්ද? What can be that? Simple, no? Total production cost. Total production cost. Write down. Okay, cool. So now we'll move to the tute. Now we'll move to the tute. Give me a second, people. Okay. So write this, people, everyone. Total production cost direct production cost, total indirect production cost. So this is prime cost. This is production overhead. Prime cost, you have 3. Direct material, direct labor, direct other. Indirect material, indirect labor, indirect other. Other means other expense. Okay. Done the lamai. Done. Cool. So let's get into the question number 1. We'll do the question number 1. They're asking you to find the prime cost. So how to find the prime cost? You have to take the direct material. So you don't write like this. You write it properly. Where DMDL Himalayan. You write it as direct material, direct labor, direct other expense. Ranuka book printers press calculate the printing cost using the following information. So people papers අපිට own any materials නේ. Ink also we need. Without those things we can't bloody print no lamai. So 40,000 and 5,000. 45,000. Machine operator. Machine operator is a labor. 15,000. Royalty. Royalty. So for each book that they are printing people, they have to give 150 to the author. Royalty payment. We design it again, like what we paid to designer previously. Likewise, to the author, we have to pay 15,000. Addition of all the direct cost, addition of all the direct cost, addition of all the direct production cost, we will call it as prime cost. We will call it as prime cost, 75,000. This is addition of all direct production cost, prime cost. Done. Now let's move to the next question, Lamai. Question 2. with reference to the Ranuka book. Incur 12,000 for the lubricating oil, 20,000 for supervisor salary, 30,000 and 15,000 factory rent and insurance. So people, these are not direct ones. These are indirect ones. Over තිබ්බත් නැතත් අපිට පොත print කරන්න පුළුවන්. Even these things are there or not, still we can print the book. Without the papers and without the ink, you can't print. So that is direct. So here production overhead, addition of all the indirect production cost. Indirect material, indirect labor, indirect other. So here 12,000. Here 20,000 labor supervisor. Factory rent and insurance, not material or labor lamai, eva other. Those are other. Those are other. Factory rent and insurance. 30,000 and 15,000. 45,000. $65,000, 87,000, 77,000. Total production overhead 77,000. Done. Good. Now let's move to the question 3 lama. Classify whether these are direct or indirect. Shoes. If you are making shoes lamai, without leather, you can't make it, no. Without leather, you can't make it. It is direct. For the shoes, nails and polish. Can make the shoe without nails and polish. Those are final touch things, no. Salary for shoemaker, it is direct. Shoemaker නැතුව shoe එක හදන්න බෑනේ. Direct. Machine maintenance, even you maintain the machine or not, still you can make the shoe. Indirect. So here, bread, wheat flour, direct. Water expense, water bill. Water bill is indirect. Electricity bill, water bill, everything of the factory is indirect. Salary to the bread baker, direct. Watchman, indirect. So if you want here, you can write down people. Direct material, direct labor. Indirect material, indirect material, indirect other. Direct material, indirect other. direct labor, indirect labor. If you are done, letter D. Cool. Next question. Following are the costs relating to a specific month of Rasamivita. Rasamivita. See, same role. Talakaralis. Manufacturing company. So they're asking you to calculate the prime cost and the overhead cost using the above information. Abhi lassana statement එකක් ගාමු ළමයි මේකට. We'll prepare a nice statement for that. Production cost statement. We'll prepare a nice statement and we'll do it. Rasamivita. Roles. Manufacturing business. Production cost statement. For the month of so let's start with the direct items, people. Let's start with the direct items. So you put down the format first. For the prime cost, we have to write the direct material, direct labor, direct other. We'll write the direct material first. So we'll do the classification, Lama. Direct materials, labor cost, direct labor. And here, packing cost is there. Packing materials, indirect materials, factory, indirect other expense, salaries of watchman, indirect labor, expenses for the flavors, indirect materials, electricity, indirect other expenses, maintenance of the machinery, indirect other expenses. Okay. So here we'll write material cost 80,000. Then we have direct labor. Labor cost. $20,000. And direct other they have not given. Direct other expense they have not given. So now let's take the total of the prime cost. 100,000. 100,000. So that is the prime cost. Now let's move to the next heading. Production overhead. First we have indirect material. Packing cost and flavors. I am taking this one as packing materials. Our people, they have not being specific. So let me assume it as packing materials. Packing materials and flavors. Packing materials 4,000. Flavors 1,500. Flavors 1,500. Indirect labor. Indirect labor we have watchman salary 7,000. Watchman salary 7,000. Then we have indirect other. Then we have indirect other. What are the indirect other? Factory rent, electricity, machinery maintenance. Factory rent, electricity, machinery maintenance. What are the values? 11,000, 1,500, 5,000. 11,000, 1,500, 5,000. So people, here we can take the total overhead cost, production overhead cost. 4,000 plus 1,500 plus 7,000 plus 11,000 plus 1,500 plus 5,000. It's 30,000. 30,000. So total production cost 130,000. 130,000. Prime cost production overhead. So this is what they have asked in the question paper. We prepared a statement also. They didn't ask, but still we prepared it. If you are done, let me know, people. Done. Good. Now let's move to the next question. So we'll keep the question number 5 and 6. We'll keep it. We'll hold it. Shall we move to the question number 7? Oh, no problem. We'll do 5 and 6, people. We'll do easy questions. We'll finish. Question 5. A manufacturing plant has the following expenses relating to its production. Prime cost 120, production overhead 80,000. Number of units 200. Sorry. Profit margin on total cost 10%. Total production cost per unit, and the selling price. Baba calculation no name on the. So first one, people, prime cost 120, production overhead 80, total production cost 200. Total production cost 200,000. So second, what are they asking? Lamai. They are planning to produce 200 units. What is this? Baby questions. Baby questions, no? 200,000 is the cost of 200 units. What's the cost per unit? 200,000 is the total, no? Total of 200 units. 200,000 is the cost for 200 units. What is the cost per unit? 200,000 divided by 200. Then cost per unit is how much? Cost, production, cost per unit. Name on the grade 6 questions for it. Third one. Calculate the selling price per unit. Calculate the selling price per unit. So people, production cost per unit 1,000. Profit 10%. 1,000 into 10%. That means 100. Then selling price per unit 1,100. Selling price per unit 1,100. Okay, next. Again, baby question from Bala. They have given the total production cost. Total production cost 400,000. Wardrobe. Almari. This is for 100 units. This is for 100 units. So 400,000 is for 100 units. What is the cost per unit, Lamai? 4,000 rupees. This is the production cost per unit. 4,000. And next one, 20% profit on cost. So production cost per unit 4,000. Profit 20%. 4,000 into 20%. Then 800. So what is the selling price per unit? Selling price per unit 4,800. 4,800. If you are done, post a letter D. Baby questions Laman. Done. Okay. So here first we have to prepare the production cost statement, calculate the cost per unit, calculate the selling price per unit. Let's do it. What is the business? Rana Mayura furniture manufacturers. Rana Mayura furniture manufacturers production cost statement. Production cost statement for which month? For the month of December 20XX. For the month of December 20XX. December 20XX. Put down the format first. Put the format Lamai. Okay. So we are manufacturing furnitures. We are manufacturing furnitures. So wood, direct material no lamai. Carpenter, labor, direct labor. මෙතන කියනවානේ other direct expense කියලා. Direct other expense. Polish, indirect material. Supervisor, indirect labor. Factory rent, indirect other expense. Fuel and electricity, indirect other expense. Factory insurance, sorry, indirect other expense. All these are indirect other expenses. Finish it, people. දැන් දන්නවනේ ඔක හදන්න අපි හැදුවානේ ඉස්සෙල්ලා. Finish it. $120,000. $40,000. $15,000. The addition of these three is the prime cost. 160, 175,000. Then we have production overheads. Current lama. Finish it. Don't wait till I finish. You do it. Indirect material. Polish 5,000. Indirect labor. Supervisor. Supervisor lamai you think හොඳට හිතන්න. Supervisor is a labor. If the supervisor is not there, people, we can't say we can't manufacture the furniture. If the carpenter is not there, we can't manufacture. Supervisor is just supervising. He's just supervising. He's a labor connected with the production, but not directly. Not directly. He's just supervising. Just because supervisor is not there, we can't say our manufacturing will stop here. But if the carpenter is not there, manufacturing will stop. Because carpenter is direct. Supervisor is indirect. Supervisor 30,000. LCCU. Okay. Indirect other. So if you are done with that, do remaining two also. Calculation of cost per unit and the selling price. Rent, coal and electricity, factory rent, fuel and electricity, insurance and machine depreciation. Insurance, machine depreciation. $12,000, $8,000, $14,000, $6,000. 12,000, 8,000, 14,000, 6,000. So here, what is the total indirect cost limit? 20,000, 40,000, 75,000. Then total production cost good 250,000. Total production cost 250,000. Next, they are telling 250 chairs. So 250,000 total production cost is to produce 250 chairs. Then what is the cost per chair? 1,000. Production cost per chair, 1,000. Third one, they ask in the selling price on cost 20%. So production cost per chair 1,000, profit 1,000 into 20%. That means 200. Then selling price per chair, selling price per chair 1,200. Selling price per chair 1,200. Done. Okay, then we'll move to the next question. So you start doing it, people. I'll give you like 5 minutes. Ah, okay. There is another question. No, sorry. So question 8. List the benefits that manufacturing organization can achieve by preparing the production. Okay. Seriously. Seriously. Nothing to write. Shall I tell you what to write? Can identify the direct cost. Can identify the production overheads. Can identify the total production cost. So we can further elaborate, people. Can identify the direct material cost, can identify the direct labor cost, can identify the direct other expenses. So hopefully, so you just write these three people, that's enough. Can calculate the cost per unit. Can identify the profit per unit. Can identify the selling price per unit. ඒ තුනක් ලියන්න. Now do the 9th question, ළමයි. Do the 9th question. So everything you can do it at once, no? Statement එකේම ගහලා අරින්න එකපාර ඔක්කොම ටික. දඩුම් ගාලා ගහලා අරින්න. Shall we do the classification? Direct material, material ne. Supervisor, labor, but indirect. Cost of paints. Cost of paints to make the ulu. You don't want paint. Once you make the ulu only, you have to do the painting thing. So it is material which is indirect. Security, labor, but indirect labor. Insurance, other. Indirect, other. So for your level people, direct other expense only one is there, royalty generally. However, in the generally, yeah, most of the times. 80% of the times, direct other expense royalty තමයි. Production labor cost. Yeah, labor, direct labor. Factory electricity, other expense. Indirect other expense. Direct other cost. So direct other expense. Machinery depreciation, other expense. Factory maintenance, other expense. Indirect. Question number 9. Ullu Private Limited. So this is for a year. They have given for a year. Huh? They have given. No. Following other 20x6. Okay. Okay, then this is wrong, people. Just cut it. Just cut that part. For the month of January 20x6. Production cost statement for the month of January 20x6. Prime cost. Direct material. Material purchases 353,500. Direct labor. Production labor 85,000. Direct other. Direct other cost 10,000. So here prime cost 353,500 plus 85,000 plus 10,000. 4,485. Then production overheads. Production overhead. Indirect material. Paint 5,000. Indirect labor. Supervisor 48,000. and security 20,000. Supervisor 48,000. Security 20,000. Indirect other. මේක තමයි ගොඩක් තියෙන්නේ. Insurance 3,000. Insurance 3,000. Electricity 12,000. Machine depreciation. Machine depreciation 7,000. Factory maintenance 5,000. Okay, so total 5,000 plus 48,000 plus 20,000 plus 3,000 plus 12,000 plus 7,000 plus 5,000. 100,000 the lamai? Is it 100,000? Total production cost 548 500. Good. 548 500. So we'll write one by one. Prime cost එක අහලා තියෙනවා 448,500. Production overhead 100,000. Total production cost 558 500. 558 500. So people 548, sorry. 548 500. Since in this question we are going to get some decimal numbers. I will calculate the total profits. Then I will calculate the selling price per unit level. So I'll do it over here. Total production cost 548,500. Total profit I am taking. Total profit 548,500 into 10%. That means 54,850. So total sales 548,500 plus 54,850. 603,350. So this is the total sales. Total sales. So I want to find the selling price per unit in this question. So 603,350 is the total sales of 100,000 units. In this question, why I am doing like this, people? Because we are getting some decimal numbers. Okay. නැත්තම් මම මෙහෙම කරන්නේ නැහැ. අපිට එනවා 6.0335. 6.0335. So this is the selling price per unit. Done? Done. Good. So there are another 3 more questions remaining. Let's do it next week, Laman. So once we are done with these 3 questions, we will be completely done with accounting. Then we will be left out with only the business studies part. So we are on track, perfectly on track. That's it. Bye-bye. Welcome. Yes, Akmal. Tell. Yeah. For another few days, it will be there. So you can access through the LMS. Go to the LMS and you have to click the My Classes. Inside the My Classes, you can find the August one. Maybe another few days, 3-4 days, it will be there. Okay. No problem.